that there's something so special about you and me, babe. So just say the words, cause you know what it means to me, babe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first edition of the Babes in Sports podcast. My name is Jamie Hersch.
I'm Tory Z. Roy. We are just two friends that are navigating lives of being mothers, wives, and successful women in the demanding, male-dominated world of sports.
Sports, and you dressed perfectly for our first episode.
Yeah,
Go
it's
sports.
really appropriate. Yes, always.
It really is. All the sports. And so, yeah, we are, again, just trying to give a platform and a voice to so many people out there who might be in the same positions that we are, where we love sports, we work in sports, but that can come with a whole slew of challenges in terms of trying to balance that with being a mom. So to give you a little idea about who we are, again, my name is Jamie, and I started in sports, I guess, like 20 years ago, if we're counting college, and have always loved sports, and I've worked in just about every sport there is, but primarily now my focus is mostly in hockey. I spent a long time as a studio host and reporter at NHL Network and MLB Network, doing some baseball as well. Transitioned to play-by-play sort of recently, but I'm really loving digging into that. So I work as play-by-play for the Professional Women's Hockey League and the National Women's Soccer League, and also sprinkle in some Vegas Golden Knights here on the side. And so that's me. We used to live in New York, Hoboken. That's where Tory lives. And now we made the personal choice, life decision to move here to Vegas about a year ago to be closer to family. So we will get into that and much more along the way.
And I cannot get over how you guys have crushed that move, by the way. Crushed it in your personal lives, crushed it in your professional lives. You just went for it and, believed in yourselves and I don't know. I'm just still so in awe of that because that is not an easy move. New Jersey.
Thank you.
And I'm really proud of you for that. So
thank you.
I have been in sports my whole life. I started playing tennis at the age of 4. Tennis got me to an amazing opportunities and parts of the world, and then eventually college. And after being a college athlete, sports just seemed to make sense to me. It was pretty much the only language I could speak. So got into ESPN right after that, and I've been storytelling for them in our storytelling group for about 15 years, probably more. And dabbled in some reporting, dabbled in some writing. So yeah, we're just kind of doing it all together. We're all just figuring it out, right?
We are. And that's why I love that you brought up the idea of starting this podcast, because I know you've been a really great resource and sounding board and kind of sister in this whole journey of being a woman in sports, trying to crush it career-wise, but also wanting to be, present as a mom and there for the big moments, and even making the choice to have kids. So this is all going to be super exciting and really fun. We'll be sharing our experiences, our stories of being a mom while trying to navigate all those challenges of working in sports. It's the good, the bad, the ugly. Nothing is off limits here. We are just trying to be really transparent and also have some fun along the way.
It's
so
pretty much
with
how
that,
we talk anyway.
Right. Exactly.
So that's why why don't we bring more people into our conversations?
Yeah, let's record our conversations. Ugh. I know I told my husband this morning we were doing this. He's like, can I listen? I was like, yeah, I guess.
We got a subscriber, Matt Burke. First subscriber.
Totally. But yeah, I think hopefully we're going to have a lot of guests too, and primarily women who we are lucky to call our friends and colleagues, badass athletes, and others from around the world of media who are also parents, to help guide us on this journey, right?
Yeah, we're still figuring it out, and also we're still figuring out podcasting. So thank you to everyone for your patience as we figure this out. But thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Our first episode.
Woo! I want to start with this one because I think every mom feels this way, whether or not you're in sports or not. But I do think that the sports world, with the schedule and the way events are and the grind, make it even, make it seem like it's 10 pounds more than it actually is. But overcoming the guilt of the working mom, why do we feel this immense stress and guilt and pressure the minute we leave the house, the minute we take our eyes off of our kids, the minute we are not focused on them, 24 hours a day? That, I don't think anyone can do that. But for some reason, it feels like it's on us to constantly be there and make sure that like they're not seeing us distracted away from them at all. Like when
Yeah.
you had Brooks in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
when was the first time that you left him, and how are you feeling in that moment?
So I left him, I had like almost 3 months of maternity leave. And then I went back and started doing some baseball. I left him, I want to say it would have been August. So he would have been 3 or 4 months old. And I don't actually, the thing I remember most is I just didn't sleep at all. Like I finally had a night in a hotel, right? Where you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm going to actually sleep through the night. Like it's going to be great. And I truly did not sleep. Like I had the baby monitor on my phone all night and I kept waking up. He slept through the night. He was an angel baby. He slept through the night at like 3 months old. So it wasn't even like I was hearing him crying. I just naturally would wake up and check from hundreds. I was in Milwaukee. I was hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. And I still was like, I mean, what would I have done? Nothing. I would have been completely unable to help if anything was wrong. But it was just this, yeah, like you said, this guilt or subconscious feeling that I was somehow not a good enough mom if I didn't constantly check on him despite being in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Yeah, Braxton, also born in 2019, was about 3 months old as well, 4 months old. Yeah. And I was going to Green Bay, Wisconsin. So look at that. Yeah, we were just going to these fabulous places, right? I was going for the NFL. And I just, I had to leave really quickly. And I remember because Jamie and I were living in the same apartment complex actually at the time. So I remember closing that door. And if I didn't leave in that moment, I was not going to leave. Like I just had to get out the door. And I felt that, okay, once I was so far away that it was almost like it's easier almost to let go of it because they're not in front of you. They're not in front of you to kind of be there to see you doing everything.
Yeah.
So for me, once I was on the plane, I was like, okay, I just need to start focusing on what I need to do. And then I was able to get through it. I was still pumping at the time though. So that was a whole other thing
Yeah.
to figure out how to make that work. And it was like my life. It was dire. If I did not get enough milk back to my husband, like I had this whole thing, I had this whole system. I had to pump it, put it in a, what's it called? Like a styrofoam cooler, ship it back. And like, if I didn't do that in time,
Shipping breast milk.
yeah. Yeah. If I didn't do that in time, I was like very, very nervous about it. So that's going to be another pod discussion, but,
that is, yeah.
it's always on your mind, like your responsibilities back home, even though you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, trying to, navigate Lambeau Field for your shoot. Like I just, there was a part of me that was never fully at work. And I think I'm okay with that, but I don't know. I guess I don't know how else to function. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And, I think that there's also an element specifically to working in sports where there's a guilt because it's fun. And I think that's really messed up. And I've worked through that a lot myself because especially having a husband who works a more traditional job that's arguably higher stress or, I don't know. It's not as fun, like just by the nature of the work. It's not as fun. I'm sure it's fulfilling in his own way. But for me, like the truth is like it beats working for a living, right? We get to work in sports. That's what I always say. Like
that's why we do
we
it.
get to watch sports and talk about sports and like live sports, which 99% of people would probably love to do and don't have the opportunity to do it. So, but that I think adds a layer of guilt where like if I was a doctor maybe and like saving lives and like in surgery or something and had to leave my baby for that, I would be like, this is justified. But me going to do a YouTube baseball game and working sidelines for the Twins, which is like my childhood team that I used to cover and love them. And that was my first remote work assignment. Like I felt guilty for having fun and being gone at the same time, which is, I don't know, that's really sad. Like I don't want to diminish my fun and the opportunities I get that are fun because I worked hard for them. I don't want to diminish that just because it is fun, but that's how I felt.
Then you get the reward, right? I mean, of Brooks seeing you on TV and pointing to you and seeing
Yeah.
your thing, or taking Brooks and Cadence to the studio and like them,
Yeah.
wow, right? So,
That's true.
but yeah, saying the fun is like, that is such a good point because, you know, we work hard, but we also get to play hard, you know, at these events because
Hmm.
there's things to do, there's people to see, there's people to be around. It's part of
Yeah.
what we do is networking and talking and getting people to trust us, right? That are athletes and other people like that are around, like teams. So
Right.
you get to go out, you get to have nice dinners,
Yeah.
you get to sleep in really nice hotels. So I think that's a big part of it.
Or watch a baby monitor in really nice hotels.
Right, that's the
Either
thing,
way.
right? Okay, how many times are you like just watching photos of the kids, even though like you're just scrolling through your phone, seeing photos of them? Like I do that every night.
I
Like I
mean, I
put them to bed.
remember specifically, it was New Year's Eve. I forget what year, but it was the year actually you and I were able to meet up and you went to the Winter Classic at Fenway, and it was
Yes.
that year. But it's New Year's Eve, and yeah, I had an early morning, so I didn't want to go out or anything, but I was in my hotel when it was midnight, and I was making a reel of like all kid stuff from that year because that's how, like, to me, that was just what sounded like the most fun, was to like reflect on the year that was. And it had nothing to do with work. It was just like all the ways in which my babies grew over the last 12 months. And that's how I spent New
You are
Year's
good at
Eve
those. Yeah.
on a work trip. I mean, oh no, we're getting better, but yeah, it is, I mean, whatever, any mom out there, sports or not, you can relate to just like going to the minute your kids fall asleep, you go through your phone and you look at old pictures and you miss them. It's so crazy.
We can't. They did this to us. We can't stop. I find it really hard too. Like as someone who is mostly remote, to get work calls, and
Mm,
you know, if the kids are home from school or whatever, if it's a weekend sometimes, as we work weekends in sports.
yes, we do.
Like I feel this guilt that like I shouldn't have to like shush my kids like just because they happen to be home during like non
Yeah,
working hours, right? But it's like I get this panic and this guilt that's like, oh no, I need to mute the phone. I don't feel comfortable with people knowing my kids are here, and it's like,
right.
why is that though? Like
Yeah,
everyone knows I'm a mom. This isn't a
yeah,
secret, but
right.
for whatever reason, I guess I just feel like it's going to be seen as a negative, or that
Yeah.
I'm not focusing enough on my work. And that is like,
Hmm.
that weighs on me a ton. Have you ever felt that
Yeah.
way?
Yes, yes, 100%. And I feel like we don't, yeah, I don't use my kids as an excuse for anything. And that, I don't know. I feel like maybe that's a woman thing. I'm not really sure. I'd have to get some more opinions on that. But I feel like, you know, we don't want to blame our kids. We want to just seem just as capable, right? Like we want to prove like we're just as able to focus on work as any man. And so I will like do anything to make sure that even if I have like a 1 hour call or something, that they're not there to interrupt it. And so like there was a time where I had a 1 hour thing to do and they were home first week of summer. And I ended up finding like a random gymnastics camp or something that was like 6 hours long. But I just was like, I don't know. And my kids are older now. Like they could have easily
Yeah.
watched a movie. It's
Right.
not like they're a crying baby that needs something right then and
Right.
there. Like they're old enough to be okay on
But
their
then you
own.
feel guilt about putting them in front of a movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just put them in a camp for the
Yeah.
entire day and paid whatever it was because I was like, I just
Yes.
need the peace of mind of knowing that like I'm not going to get interrupted. My brain is going to be 100% focused on work. And so these are all choices and challenges that we face. And, you know, as we go along in our little podcast journey, I think it'd be great to hopefully sync up with like a child psychologist or something to talk about, kind of whether that does have a negative impact on kids, because they'll probably tell us it doesn't, and then we'll feel better and maybe we
Right.
can absolve ourselves of all this mom guilt.
That's what I'm telling myself, that they're fine. They're fine. So, yes, if anyone has seen us, seen our pod, please reach out. That is interested in talking to us about child psychology. But otherwise, let us know in the chat what you think, what you've
Yeah.
experienced, anything more that you can share.
Yeah.
This was heavy. We could go on and on about this, but
I know. And we will. Like, this is just like the umbrella of the
yeah,
huge, like all these other subtopics that we're going to talk about. But you're right. Like, we want this to be interactive too. So anyone who's watching that's had their experience, like we would love to kind of bring up one or two of those examples on our next podcast every week. So get involved, chime in, and we will see where this goes. So yeah, I think think it's time for our last little segment.
Yes. Now here's the fun part. This is going to be our fun weekly segment where we're calling it Mansplain Moment of the Week. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case.
Wait, are you going to womansplain the mansplaining?
Should I?
Do it.
I don't think that's a thing. It doesn't happen enough, Jamie.
That's fair.
Yeah. Who tried to mansplain something to you recently, James?
Okay, this is a more recent example because we've got.
Okay.
I'm sure we've got quite a large bucket of examples, each of us, throughout the course of our career in sports.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But yeah, I guess the most recent example happened over the weekend. So I mentioned at the start of the pod that I have been really leaning into doing play-by-play more and more. Like that's become my primary focus, and started with hockey. Now I'm moving into soccer and trying to just grow in that realm, which like A is absolutely the hardest thing I've ever done career wise. And B has nothing to do with my appearance, right? Like that's actually part of what I love about it. But a man who I was actually telling this to recently, like I was saying, yeah, it's really refreshing. Like I don't feel pressure to have my makeup perfectly or my hair done or whatever, like, cause you're on camera for like 10 seconds. So I had already set that standard. Like that's why. And he was like, well, you never know. Like you might actually have a lot of options on TV down the road if you keep really working really hard. Like one day you could even be like a studio host or a sideline reporter because you've got the looks for TV. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like I just explained to you that I didn't want to have the pressure that it looks. And also like this guy knows that I have done that before. Like I have hosted and reported on TV for decades now. And I was trying to explain like why I was trying something new that again, way harder, nothing to do with the appearance. Thanks for the backhanded compliment by saying I'm pretty or whatever, but like
you are pretty. Great.
Thanks,
yeah.
But that's that. Just I didn't need that, and I definitely didn't need you to tell me what I should do professionally as someone who's taken a long time to like carve that out myself.
You just got to work harder. You're not working hard enough.
Work really hard, and you could do something that you've been doing for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fun.
Wow.
How about you?
Well, I was recently playing tennis with two of my best friends, and we went to a tennis club, indoor tennis club, and the courts there were a surface that are called Hersch courts, which they're basically America's version of clay. They're green, they're gritty. They're not hard courts. They bounce differently, whatever the case may be. We walk in and, we say, okay, yeah, hey, we have a court for 11 o'clock, whatever. And the guy like looks at us, particularly me. Maybe I just felt like he was looking particularly at me and was just like, I just want you guys to know that these courts are called Hersch courts. These are Hersch tennis courts. They're not the same as regular hard courts that you see outside.
Oh my gosh.
And if you know me,
you mean the girl who played at the U.S. Open? Maybe you've heard of it.
I've played on Hersch courts since I was 7 or 8, and I couldn't, Jamie, all my strength, because I was like, people who know me know when I'm real sarcastic and when I'm actually genuine, and I was just like, they're Hersch? Is that what they're called? Because I really just I couldn't do it, and we didn't walk in there acting like we were going to dinner, like we were, we're athletic looking people, women.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, we know what we're signing up for. So,
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it's the slow talking too, right? The slow talking is what really hit
right.
Me. So,
right.
Hey,
wow.
For anyone else
I wish you could have gotten him on the court and taken him out.
And you know what? We had the court all the way at the end. So like he couldn't see us hitting. So that's why I was like really mad. I was like, we just put in front so he could be like, oh
my gosh.
Anyway.
Well, good on you for not losing your cool.
And good on you as well for smiling politely.
I know. That's maybe another thing we need to address down the road is how to not be too polite.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Maybe that'll be an episode to come.
Oh, man. So, ladies, anyone who's being mansplained to, we are here for you. Share your stories with us. We'll have plenty more to get into as we go forward in our pod. Now, as we're getting towards the end of our show today, we have a poll question that we would love to hear your thoughts on. Jamie, for you, Over or under 100, how many times have you heard your kids say mom today or mama?
It's always over, Tori.
It's
You know
always
that.
over.
It's always over. And I only had them for like a couple hours before dropping them off at school today. But Matt, my husband, actually laughs because he's like, it's only you. Like, they don't say that to me. But for me, we will like joke between ourselves, like, we call it mahi mahi because Brooks will say it so fast that it sounds like mahi mahi. And so he'll be like, my. And I'm like, oh my gosh, take a breath.
Buddy. Yeah.
I hear you.
It's just one. It's just one. It's not even, we both have 2 kids. That's way more, but I take the over on that, but would love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah. All right, cool. Our first episode in the books. We did it. This was kind of fun. So yeah. And I think we are going to be equipped to put this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else you can get your podcasts. So we will also post this to our social accounts. So you can find us there too. At T Zawacki, right?
At T Zawacki, at Jamie Hersch.
At Jamie Hersch. So we hope that you can join the conversation and just connect with us because I think this is going to be a really fun ride.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Jane.
Thank you.
See you guys next time.